a graphic novel that I just read. It is called Alice in Borderlands. So this is volume 1, and it is by the Japanese author Haro Aso. So you might see that this is not our copy. Our copy is actually currently checked out, but we do have it here at Wayne County Public Library. So this is actually a manga. So it is from Japan, and so if you've never read a manga before, you do actually read it what we would call backwards. So, whereas we would typically hold a book like this and then read right to left, you're actually going to start in what we would call the back, which is truly the front of the book, and then you are going to read the left to right instead of right to left. So that's the only real difference, and I just thought this was fantastic. Now, I read this because I had actually seen the Netflix adaptation of it, and so the Netflix series actually follows the graphic novel pretty closely. They just made everybody a little bit older. But this book specifically is about Arisu. He's our lead character, and he is kind of, a video obsessed 18-year-old just living in Tokyo. His family doesn't treat him super well. They think he's lazy, which in turn makes him not want to do anything because he's depressed. So then he just plays more video games. It's kind of this cycle. So, the first part of the book is him and his two best friends just kind of hanging out, and they all have something kind of going on in their lives. And Arisu says, wouldn't it be great if we weren't here? If we got sucked into some sort of crazy apocalyptic world. Well, be careful what you wish for, because that kind of happens. So they are, sitting around just kind of chatting when all of a sudden there's fireworks. And it's kind of like the middle of the night, and they're like, why are there fireworks? And while the fireworks are going off, and this is where we get the title, Alice in Borderland, they all get kind of transported through like a rabbit hole. If you've read Through the Looking Glass, which is where Alice in Wonderland comes from, so it kind of has very similar parallels to Alice in Wonderland. And they get transported into this alternate Tokyo where things aren't so great. They are forced to play these games, and some of these games are to the death. So if you were a fan of Squid Game, which was another Netflix show, or Hunger Games, obviously very famous movie and book series, then this will be for you. If that made you squeamish, then maybe skip this graphic novel series. So the games are all different, and they learn, and you can kind of see some of the imagery of like the playing cards over here, and then again, think Alice in Wonderland has all the playing cards in it. So they learn that there's all sorts of games that they're going to be forced to play, and the different suits mean different things, and then the number on the playing card indicates its difficulty. And so right away he ends up in a game, and he, as anyone would, his reaction is, this is crazy. His friends are thinking the same thing, this is crazy. And they realize just how serious it is when one of them gets injured. And at that point they kind of figure out, oh gosh, this is like not ideal. We have to play these games, and we have to survive these games. So that's all I'll kind of say about that. I don't want to give away any details. If you are an Alice in Wonderland fan, there's going to be a ton of Easter eggs, and there's going to be characters that you'll kind of start to recognize. So my favorite is this gentleman. His name is Chishia. And he is our Cheshire Cat, or at least that's my interpretation. And then this is just volume 1. Right now, there are 4 volumes available, and a fifth coming within a couple of months in publication. And so the more you go on, the more you'll meet other characters that you might recognize from Alice in Wonderland, that have been kind of adapted to this Japanese Alice in Borderland version, including the Queen of Hearts. And yeah, so I enjoyed this as a kind of an escapism. I joked with my family, there's always people who get really into a fandom, and like, and they'll say things like, "Well, wouldn't it be great if I lived next to Spider-Man?" Or "Wouldn't it be a lot of fun if I could go visit Hogwarts?" Well, I enjoyed the world building of this, but I would not want to visit the Borderland. So how did they get transported there? Who is controlling these games? Some of which are obviously very frightening. That all will be answered. But just keep reading. And yeah, thank you for joining me for this book review.